This is food that a friend of one of my dad's friends made for a birthday party that me and my dad attended. We left to attend around 5:30 p.m. Arrived around 5:45 p.m. And we're there until roughly 9:30 p.m. Was around the time we decided to leave and head back to my dad's place. From roughly 6 to 6:30 p.m., I had 2 helpings of this food. The first plate, a majority of it was the macaroni and cheese with some of the rice and some of the chicken, as I wanted to try everything. Everything that was prepared by the friend of one of my dad's friends. Of which the birthday party was for someone related to either the friend of my dad or friend of my dad's friend. The friend of my dad's friend did all of the cooking for everything. There was also a sort of vegetable tray, but I completely ignored that in favor of trying out what was cooked. And there was also an ice cream cake. By I think the Carnell brand it's pronounced. That later by someone had a sort of frosting message written on it. A happy birthday message. though we didn't have any ice cream cake until after we had done the part of the birthday party celebration where the candles are blown out by the person whose birthday is being celebrated. And we sing related birthday songs right before and right after this. Along with the associated turning off the artificial lighting so that the only lighting provided are by the candles placed on the birthday cake right before the part where the candles are blown out as a celebration to the person whose birthday is being celebrated. And my second plate or helping of this food was half this rice, which I set at the party itself. I preferred to the mac and cheese. Everything was at least good. But the rice was my personal favorite. With the chicken being second and the mac and cheese coming in last. And my second plate or helping was basically half the chicken and half the rice because after I had tried everything for my first plate, and on my first plate, or helping, the macaroni and cheese made up the biggest section, about half of it, while the other half was a combination of the chicken and the rice. And for the second plate, I was in the mood for more of the macaroni and cheese. The photo part shows just one piece of the ice cream cake. Which I recall throughout it having a vanilla top and a chocolate bottom, separated by a layer of mini chocolate chips. I had more like 4 to 5 similarly sized pieces in order to finish the ice cream cake. That whole thing after everyone had some. Which consisted entirely of me, my dad, and his friends. For about the first half hour or so of the birthday party, after another friend of my dad brought it in, which was about 15 minutes or so into the party, I knew there was going to be food and probably a good amount of it at this birthday party, so I had just one official meal today. A breakfast around 10:30 in the morning. Consisting of quinoa, packaged like one of those sushi packs. My mom gets at Wegmans. Every now and then. It gets them for me, and I also get those sushi packs too. And because my mom got that quinoa from the Wegmans by her place, and I put that quinoa into whatever was left over of the gravy from when my mom cooked pork chops. I had the quinoa and gravy with my first cup of plain coffee. From a morning pot my dad made. And I recall having my usual 2 full cups and a partial third cup of plain coffee roughly from 10:30 in the morning, around that time, to about noon. The hours prior to The hours between me waking up for today, which I recall being around 9 in the morning, 9:30 in the morning. To when me and my dad left around 5:30 p.m. to go to the birthday party at the place of one of my dad's friends. I primarily spent those hours going through my current rotation of games on Kongregate. Editing the March 11 U-Cut video file, my dinner video, and then uploading that U-Cut video project file to my YouTube channel, and doing a little work on the Moogle polystyrene drawing project. The vast majority of our hours at the birthday party was essentially my dad talking with his friends and me joining the discussion every now and then. Here's where I am currently on the Moogle polystyrene drawing project after the bits of work I did today prior to me and my dad leaving for the birthday party we left around 5:30 p.m. By the time we got back around 9:45 p.m., after I sipped at 2 Goat beers during the birthday party, roughly from about 6 to about 9 p.m. A start time of 6 p.m. because I didn't sip at the first large Goat beer I had until the food came out and I took at least a few bites, or in this case, forkfuls. I recall I had default sriracha. Default sriracha to dip the chicken I had at the birthday party in. Today's work on the Moogle polystyrene drawing project, for the most part, was touch-ups on the front side of it. And basically outlining the color for this little section to officially finish the front side, though I didn't color this section in as I didn't feel ready to do that yet at the time. Though I did officially start outlining the Moogle's wings on the back side of the project right before my dad announced that we would be leaving to go to that birthday party, which I recall knowing about the upcoming birthday party at least a day in advance. The car drive back home from where the birthday party was, back to my dad's place, was pretty relaxing. The sunset during the time we were at the place, the private place where the birthday party took place. And it was a nice and cool night, despite today being somewhere between the 60s and the 70s degrees Fahrenheit, which may be a bit unusual for a day where it's nearing spring, but it's technically still winter. To the point where the windows up here were opened and the curtain door hung up in order to allow for a crosswind in order to cool down the room. At that time, around 5:30 p.m., it was just a bit warm. Probably just a bit over room temperature, but beyond the warm end of room temperature, and to the point where when walking up and down the stairs, both me and my dad could feel the temperature change. I think the temperature would rise about 10 degrees Fahrenheit or so while walking up the stairs from the first floor to the second floor of this house. The windows were only opened pretty much right before me and my dad left for the birthday party.